Celebritine, and in this video I'm going to show you how I made my crochet Waikiki bikini top. I'm using a 5mm hook and weighted 4 yarn from the brand Lion brand. However, you can use any size hook that you like as well as any size yarn that you like. Just remember that the smaller the hook and the thinner the yarn, the tighter the stitches are going to be. The first step is to create a slip knot, and after you've created your slip knot, you're going to chain a chain of about 7, and the reason it is 7 chains is because that is a good size for me. I am a very small B cup. However, if you are a smaller size than me or a bigger size than me, then you're going to have to make more or less chains. How much more or less? I don't know. It depends on your size, and it's going to take a bit of trial and error to figure out how many chains you need. So for me, 7 is good, and after I've chained my 7 chains, I go back on it using a single crochet, and once I reach the end of the row, I'm going to chain 1, flip it over, and head back using single crochet again. So this is my last stitch coming up, going to single crochet, chain 1, flip it over, go into the very first stitch, then single crochet my way back on that row, and once I have reached the end, about right here, I'm going to turn it vertically and I'm going to start working vertically. This is going to be the point up here. That's going to be the point of your cup, and then the bottom of this vertical project is going to be the base of your cup. You may not see it yet, however, after a few rows of this pattern, you will. Now, every time you reach the point of your project, you're going to single crochet 3 times into 1 stitch. And after that point, after those 3 single crochets in 1 stitch, you're going to single crochet your way down the row to the bottom, and once you reach the bottom, you're going to chain 1, flip it over, and then single crochet your way back to that point, and once you reach that point again, you're going to single crochet 3 times into 1 stitch. And that 1 stitch that you are single crocheting 3 times into should be the stitch that is right in the middle. And after you have created those 3 single crochets into that middle stitch, then you are going to begin single crocheting your way down, chain 1 back up, 3 single crochets in the middle stitch, then single crochet your way down, chain 1 back up, 3 single crochets and down, and then back up, and you just continue with that pattern until eventually you get your cup to the size that you'd want it to be. So you put it against yourself and it actually covers everything, then you know that you are good. Now, if that tutorial was a bit too fast for you, I actually have a beginner-friendly video on how to make crochet cups that I will link down below, so you can go ahead and practice that and then come back to this tutorial once you feel that you have mastered the art of crocheting cups. So now that you have finished your first cup, you are going to slip stitch into 4 stitches, and after you do that, you're going to create 5 double crochets into 1 stitch. And if you are unfamiliar with these stitches, I actually have a Crocheting for Beginners video that I will also link in the description box below. So if you are a beginner for crochet, please watch the Crocheting for Beginners video first and practice with that for a while, and then you can go ahead and watch the video on how to crochet a cup. Okay, so again, you're done with your first cup. You slip stitch into 4 stitches from the side, and then on that 5th stitch you are going to create 5 double crochets to create your scallop. Yay, little scallop. And after you have created your 5 double crochets, you're going to actually skip a stitch. See that one? Don't go into that one. Go into the next one. And you're going to slip stitch yet again into 4 more stitches, and then in that 5th stitch you're going to create 5 double crochets, create another scallop basically, and then you're going to slip stitch into 4 stitches and do that pattern around the entire cup. So after you have created scallops all along the sides of your cup, then you are done with that cup, and all you have to do now is grab some scissors or something to cut off the yarn from the yarn ball and start on your second cup. And for the second cup, you are going to do the exact same thing as you did for the first cup. So you are going to chain 7 or however many chains that you want to chain, and then single crochet your way back on it, chain 1, single crochet your way back up, then flip it vertically, single crochet 3 into that very top stitch, then go down using single crochet, then back up, and well, you know the drill. If anything, you can go ahead and watch this video over again just to refresh yourself on the steps that you needed to take to get to this point. What I did after I did my second cup is I aligned it with the first cup to make sure that it was even, and after I realized that it was even, then I grabbed my first and second cup and align them together. I put my hook through both of their last loops, then with the yarn attached to the yarn ball and the extra yarn that I had left over from the first cup, I brought them both through those 2 loops, and then I went ahead and tied it together. And after I tied it together, I flipped it over so that it is nice and aligned. I am actually going to start working on this bottom part. From here, I just created a slip knot, and then I chose one side to slip stitch across. It doesn't matter which side, you could just choose whichever one. And what I'm going to do is slip stitch all the way to the end, and once I reach the end, I'm going to create a chain of about 100, and this long chain is going to serve as my back strap. After I chain 100, I'm going to go back on that chain using a slip stitch just to make it a little thicker. And once I have reached the top again, I'm going to single crochet my way across to the other side and create another back strap of 100 chains. So as a quick review, we started off from right here, the middle. We slip stitched across, we chained 100, we went back using a slip stitch, and once we reached the top, we single crocheted across it, and then created another chain of 100 and went back on it using a slip stitch, and now we are at this point. So from here, you just grab some scissors or any cutting tool and cut off the yarn from the yarn ball, bring the excess through the last loop and give it a tug, then cut off the excess later. The last thing you need to do is create the neck straps, and the neck straps are really easy. All you have to do is attach the yarn from the yarn ball onto where you want your strap to be, which is usually that middle stitch at the top. The way that I attach yarn is this way. I put my hook through the stitch that I want my chain to be, then I grab the yarn and bring it through that stitch, making sure that there is a little bit of excess yarn. Then I put that excess yarn along with the yarn attached to the yarn ball on my hook and chain with both of them on my hook. After a couple chains, it's only the yarn that is attached to the yarn ball that you're working with, but it is important that you also have that excess yarn in those first stitches just so that it secures it. And after you've created your chain of about 50, you're going to go back on it using a slip stitch and then just seal it off like I showed you before. Then go to the other side of the bralette or bikini and make your other strap, and after that you are done. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you felt that it was too fast for you, I have a lot of beginner-friendly projects that you can try out. Please give this video a thumbs up before you go and click that red subscribe button if you have not already so I can see you next time. Bye!